Just waiting on Cozy.
Boom. And we're live, baby.
Oh, we are live.
Yeah, we are live. The link is on Twitter
Let me see.
under both Premia and mine, I believe. Premia account and my account.
Oh, that's super cool. I on StreamYard, where we do it, only lets us do one. It only lets us do one account. But good to talk to you guys again. And yeah, I got a lot to share about vxCozy. And otherwise, how you guys doing?
All good, man. Let's just keep it simple. I know you fucking got some shit to attend. So what happened, man? What happened at vxCozy? It didn't
First,
seem
before we
too
get into
lively.
that,
Go ahead.
hold on.
vxCozy did not seem too
Before we get into vxCozy madness, Andy, introduce yourself. Give people the lowdown on the roll-up if they don't know what they are. I gave you guys a little shout out this morning on Eden, and gave you some flowers. But for those that don't know the roll-up, give a brief little blurb about that, and then let's get into vxCozy madness.
Yeah, man. So I'm Andy. We run the Rollup. It's an education company. We started off doing a lot of DeFi tutorials back in the day, and since have really kind of pivoted towards kind of scaling blockchains and rollups and Ethereum's roadmap and that type of jazz. So yeah, we have a podcast, a newsletter, and do a lot of really fun educational content. And obviously, I've been boys with you guys for some time, and really have been following the options content and really enjoy learning from that side of the market as well. So yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I was telling the guys earlier that it's been really dope to see you and Robbie kind of glow up. Like I remember when I first met them, I feel like they were just starting out in like a dorm or something together, super interested in crypto and just wanted to interview as many like founders and protocols as they could, absorb as much information as they could. We're making tutorials, and now look at them, like they really kind of blew up after their little 24 hours spaces marathons. And and now you guys are like I feel like kind of a household name in DeFi when it comes to content education and kind of out of the box interviews.
I wish I could put the laughing emoji when you were saying the 24-hour spaces, because those were fun grinds. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I feel as well. Like Rob and I were, we met freshman year in college, and then it felt like the whole entire thing felt like we just kind of threw it together. And then now it feels like we're actually building a sustainable, like longer term vision kind of, engine here. So yeah, excited to chat further.
It's dope. It's dope. So talk to us about vxCozy. What happened there?
Yeah, it looked empty.
You guys saw the vibes and like felt it on Twitter, right? Everyone is just like pessimistic, man. Like, where's the apps? Why are we building the same thing? What's going on here? Like, FTV is too high. This is overvalued. It was just like, it was the first Ethereum conference that I've ever been to where people were like, yo, like, we got to get our shit together. Like, Solana's doing this. Like, this is happening. Like, it was very much so like, and it was like, there was a lot of side events. There was a lot of fragmentation. Literally, it's kind of funny, like, of people. But I think it was like, it showed that like the industry was maturing in a sense where I think we're in a bull market and we're in like things are going well for the space, but it really felt like people were like not satisfied with what we've accomplished as a space so far. So that was kind of an interesting take, I think.
Do you feel like it had to do with like a combination of, I think there are a few things, right? Like number one, like there's a lot of fatigue. I think builder fatigue this cycle, because a lot of the apps that are getting built aren't getting the same type of attention they got last cycle, given the amount of attention gravity that just meme coins and like P2P,
yeah, man,
gambling kind of has.
Yeah, man, it feels like builders are asking themselves that question. They're like, why are we building? And then also, like you said, Cozy, like, bro, when we started, like, the whole, like, era of DeFi was so new. It was like, like there hasn't been that many like 0 to 1 cents. Like restaking is like kind of cool, but like it's also like rehypothecation in a way, just another form of like debt and leverage. So it's been like, yeah, like the question that really just kept coming back was just like, where are the users and like where are the apps? And that was the one that like I think the space is like fully trying to gravitate towards, and I have some opinions on those as well. Like I think we have apps, we have DeFi, we have NFTs, we have communities, we have these things, but like people are dying for like 1 or 2 like apps somehow.
They need some 0 to 1s.
Yeah, man, something that's like breaks through like this like breaks through the crypto community. It reaches like the next level.
What I feel is that like when DeFi first came out, there was this like magic to it. Like we're reinventing all of the like financial primitives that kind of exist in traditional finance, but decentralized. And now that that's been going on for the last like 4 years of just, you know, building all of the key pieces of kind of like infrastructure to trade in the way that you do traditionally, it's like lost its magic almost to a lot of people, and they're just looking for the new shiny thing, and the new shiny thing just happens to be like memes, because memes are constant. Like there's never there's never a shortcoming of memes that can be created. And like in crypto, a lot of the majority of volatility that occurs in low liquidity assets, it's due to like attention gravity. So it's like if you can kind of fulfill or fix like the dopamine need that you need from trading, and the only way to get that is by trading low liquidity like meme coins, then like that's what people are going to do. And then that devolves into that's what the conversation is about, because that's what all people are doing. And that, you know, like adds to this like tiring of fatigue that people are kind of feeling. I think that they're like, all people are talking about are these things that don't matter. Is like, does any of this even matter anymore? Da, 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 da. And I don't know if you saw it. I quote tweeted Ethan, and I wasn't talking to him. I was just like talking to everyone, kind of saying like, it's easy to be pessimistic and like make comments like that when you're just trading. Or you're just like a participant in crypto and you're not actually building anything. But when you're on the side of building and you're doing the research and you're looking at all of the new tech to like upgrade your current, you know, infrastructure stack, or build something new, you see that like the space is moving forward very rapidly and things are becoming much more efficient. And, you know, the tweet I said, as cliche as it is, like modular and more interoperable. And kind of the possibilities are becoming much more endless with the ways that you're able to trade across chains, and the abstraction layer where you're able to say like, it doesn't matter, you know, where a user has their capital, they can use this app just as if it's a website and an actual app they're using. And like that doesn't really
it's totally coming back. Sorry, you guys lost I lost my avatar, but I don't know what happened, but my avatar got nuked and then I had to restart it, and now I'm back. But when we're looking at people building stuff, it's so different than traders. Traders are, I don't know, they're too emotional, or at least crypto Twitter is. It's too emotional. Real traders most likely are not on crypto Twitter, or if they do, they, you know, post once a week or once a month. But you're seeing a lot of flow and fluctuation of emotions, like, oh, we're down 1% today, and everybody's like, oh my God, it's so over. So yesterday we were so back, today it's so over. But one thing that I saw with builders is some of the, I mean, that's why you guys are building archetype, right? But some of the sectors are like, there's not attention or there's not spotlight on it. I'm not sure if there's not users or if just people aren't paying attention. It feels like a lot of people are just copy building kind of like the same shit and not iterating on new inventions. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of, you know, well, now we have bridges that are super fast and now somewhat innovating, but a lot of the back end stuff like node providers are like, what are the two? Alchemy and Quick Node. Like those guys are not that good. Half the time their stuff is down. It's like we need some better node providers. There's some spaces that the spotlight is not being shined on for sure, even though some parts are getting the spotlight.
Yeah, but like the thing with that side of things is like the problem there, and that the sentiment that is at ECC and on Twitter is like, okay, yes, we need these things, but like, who's gonna fund these things as an industry? Okay, it's gonna be private market capital, to the people that raise funds to push an industry forward and to make like venture style returns. But then these tokens launch at high FDVs that are like unjustified, but from the investor's lens, they're like, up a couple X or sometimes more, sometimes hundreds of X's. And then the community is like, why do we want to participate in this VC scam coin? And so it's like, okay, yeah, we need to push these things forward. But like the community is also giving so much pushback on any sort of like private market investing happening. And I'm not backing the VCs here, but I'm just saying like, it's like it's a weird dynamic now where the community is like, they don't want these types of like, or they want equal opportunity, but like they also don't want to fund the next crypto node because it's not sexy.
I was just going to say that.
As long as you don't pull a racer and paradigm, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Andy, is like that's kind of the problem, right? That like those products, like different types of infrastructure that is needed and is really, really beneficial to the development community. It's not sexy to like the crypto Twitter trading community. So just like you said, like they don't want to buy the VC high float scams, but they also don't want to fund them before they become that because it's not something sexy to them.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think there's going to be a shift in, like, I honestly expect there to be some funds that are like, we're only investing in apps. But, like, it's such a harder, like, think about it this way. Like, is it easier to bet on, like, the HTTPS of the internet or, like, the AWS, I suppose, or maybe it's not the best example, but is it easier to bet on the river and building a road and building like infrastructure for a river, like a boat, versus like betting on the specific type of rope company that's going to win out and be the rope used for every boat? It's like, I'm on a boat now, so it's my example, but like what I'm saying is like betting on apps is like so much more difficult than betting on infrastructure and crypto. And so we get these infrastructure projects that keep getting built and built and built and built. And so that's kind of like where a lot of the bad sentiment comes from. They don't really blame, again, like the VCs and things, because it's just like, well, like the incentives are a little bit misaligned. So I think that we'll see a lot of adjustment from kind of the valuation perspective. Like, because I don't know how much like angel investment that you've done in the last like 5 years or so, but I feel like 2020, 2021 was like almost everything was a 10x guaranteed. You just had to make it past like a couple years investing. Whereas I feel like now it's like, if deals are being done in the private markets,
the valuation
you couldn't even get allocations. Like it was fucking done through Telegram chats. Like, do you want in? Yeah. Like you have to send the money right now. It's like, and it's filled up, right? It's not. And now it's okay. What actually can make us some money? And in the likes of Paradigm and some other big guys, I think that they back but don't endorse the right founders. But I remember
things have calmed down a little bit. But yeah, earlier this year, valuations were insane, like laughable. I turned down a few because of how high they were. And the crazy thing is that after I turned them down because of how high they were, they then did another round after that, like at an even higher valuation. So they found fucking people to buy into it. And it was just crazy to me. I'm like, how the fuck are you even going to launch?
Well, AI. Once you put AI into something,
yeah.
10x. Yeah. Now I think you're seeing that kind of die down a little bit, right? Like I think
but almost that doesn't make sense though. Like if you're a VC or a long-term investor, like the fluctuations in the market shouldn't determine like so much your appetite for risk. But it does. Like I've it's crazy how just in the last 3 months, like the amount of capital sloshing around compared to February and January in like the VC circles has like significantly declined. It's like, but also at the same time, I suppose that the valuations have increased. So yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, kind of another thing from ECC was just like uh, this idea that, well, like everyone's trying to figure out how to scale Ethereum, and nobody really has a right way to do it. Like, there's all these different roll-up proposals. There's all these there's Solana's monads, Barrett chains, L1s. There's shared sequencers. There's base sequencing. There's all these different ways people are trying to scale Ethereum, but like we're running into a problem in like the Ethereum community where like for the first time in a long time they're considering shortening the block times and like making base layer changes to Ethereum, which to me is like almost, and also in Bitcoin with this OP cat stuff. So for the first time in like years, like I'm not in years, like I thought Ethereum and Bitcoin were like as pretty much as done up as possible, and like, you know, Ethereum maybe have one or two upgrades every year or two, and Bitcoin technically done. But dude, it feels like we're like getting closer and closer to like base layer protocol changes at both Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is a little bit worrisome, but also bullish, but also like, I don't know who's making the decisions.
Bitcoin's going through its like American politics phase, like right where in the beginning,
it's reality TV star,
dude. Where if you, it's so crazy because like if you were on the left, you know, in 2016, 2017, meaning you were like a small blocker, but like believed maybe in the future we need to scale, but like definitely not now. That was still pretty strong rhetoric to be using as, you know, like a Bitcoiner. That was kind of shitcoiner talk. But now some of their like strongest supporters and like diehard, you know, Bitcoin maximalists are like publicly, you know, talking about how like maybe a 4 or, you know, 8 megabytes is, you know, a good increase. And like that would have been that was instant. Like you're out of the community. You're a shitcoiner.
Yeah, you're like Roger
out of the conversation back in the day. But yeah, now there's I'm not sure what it is, right? Like maybe it's, I know that there's a lot of, from back in that era, a lot of devs who, I know hard to believe for some of our listeners, but a lot of devs who went to BSV who are actually like probably some of the better Bitcoin devs at that time. They, you know, started working on Solana after that. And then now they've been building stuff on Bitcoin to support ordinals and ordinal infrastructure and things like that. So like you have a kind of resurgence in the Bitcoin development community of a lot of developers that have like had Bitcoin or that were kind of Bitcoin like purists, like they didn't really want to mess with anything else. Funny enough, until Solana. And then once BTC was kind of infiltrated this cycle, they all started building stuff for BTC again.
Well, yeah. What was the other one? BCH, BSV. I mean, come on, guys. Yeah. It's not even viable anymore. Nobody uses the product. I always thought it was funny, people trading like ETH BTC. It's like you should probably be trading ETH against BCH or BSV, right? The actual shitcoin Bitcoin instead of the real big daddy on your pair trades. I put that one on, I don't know. I put it on like a month ago and held it. Did pretty well. But when we're talking about Ethereum, are we at a fucking glass ceiling? Is that it? Or are we gonna have gasless transactions or super, super, super low gas like Solana? I feel like that's
didn't read the docs.
Yeah, like the meme coin cycle, right? Like it was all on Solana because it was all free or, you know, quote free to trade and shit like that. Versus Ethereum last cycle was $900. I had a failed NFT mint for $900, and that was like it. And maybe those people never came back, right? Back to Ethereum. They're like, we need something new. We need something cheap. So where are we? Where are we in the ETH cycle?
I don't think that's the case. I mean, obviously there are people that found like a new place they like to call home. But I don't think that's the case for the majority of like users that are just trading somewhere else. I've talked about it before, like my whole like vacation and like nation state kind of theory for crypto. And I think a lot of it is that, like, you know, as soon as there's an opportunity on like a satellite chain, we'll say, like people are going to go on vacation and go and like, you know, spend their money there and try to make money gambling there. But I don't think that like steals significant like long-term capital share, I guess. Like,
you think that they're going to come back to Ethereum? Or, I mean, Ethereum
I think
overall
everybody
is a
goes
safer
home.
blockchain. There's safes, there's Genosis. There's more tech built on Ethereum overall than Solana. I know Ansem's like, no, it's not Solana meme coin season, but I feel like there's not much activity in real trading and real people that aren't shitcoining than like Arbitrum or something like this, right? Like real builders. It's like everything on Solana is like shitcoin meme season. I'm not seeing the positivity and growth.
But like also, I'm gonna go to Solana Breakpoint in Singapore this year, and I'm gonna be like, fucking wow, there is a solid amount of app-focused people here building on a single execution environment, which is somewhat capable of scaling. Like the Solana needs Rollup, so you know, go into the whole modular kumbaya. I don't need to, but like the app-focused culture of Solana Breakpoint, I'm anticipating is going to be significantly different than the way that ECC was with like ZK, FHE, MPC, intents, chain abstraction. Like it's all like ETH is like so focused on scaling, but I think that like Solana will be extremely focused on like apps, which I think will be refreshing. But like, yeah, for sure, Marty. Like I'd say 80% of it is still kind of hocus pocus, but that's almost what the Ethereum L1, Ethereum base layer, and Ethereum community kind of went through in 2020. It was like, I mean, Cozy, when we kind of first met, it was pretty PvP Ponzi like out there.
Yeah, dude, it was PvP Ponzi on ETH, and the thing is that like the people that were priced out of Ethereum, they just went to Binance Smart Chain. Like, you know, this all happened before. It's nothing new. There's always a majority chain that was cheap that will become expensive. It will price users out who felt at home, and they're going to go and trade somewhere else, aka go vacation. And some of them will stay, and the majority of them go back because, you know, of other factors like chain security or, you know, history or, you know, whatever it may be, infrastructure and, you know, wallets and familiarity. Like there's tons of reasons like why people do it. You know, but that's my theory. Like, you know, it's just the, like when new things happen on Phantom, I go and I play around on Phantom. I move a lot of money to these networks when I go and I do these things, like, and I contribute a ton to, just like anyone else who's like me, to those stats for that given time. But I don't leave my money there. You know, like my money always comes back home when I'm done, whether I won or I lost. Like at the end of whatever micro cycle, you know, is going on that I'm partaking in, when it's done, my money goes back home where you can get the best yield on your assets, and that is on Ethereum or some, you know, extension of.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we didn't see like Athena. I know that there's people building Athena on AVAX and Athena on Solana. There's two projects building on AVAX, but like there's no hype around these guys, right? Like Athena is the mind share of this kind of trade, but there's a lot of copycats on other chains and nobody seems to care. I feel like we see this, not, I'm just using Athena as the biggest example right now, but we've seen this over history. Like nobody really cares about these other chains. Either there's not users or activity like Starknet. There's like 10 fucking users on Starknet, right? Starknet versus like Ethereum. And I think that when it comes to devs and devs building, they'll build for where the users are. And I mean, right now is the Ethereum ecosystem. Maybe Solana will be in that conversation. I'd be interesting to know the Singapore,
right? Like
I'm not
as vehemently like against Solana, I guess, as you are. I do think that there are the majority of activity there is like the gambling and just meme coin stuff, but like there's protocols like Drift and
Zeta. They were there.
Zeta and fucking
Oh, name 3 more, Cozy. How about you try to name 3 protocols on Solana on Solana.
don't put me on this one. There's Jito, Wormhole.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm having a hard time finding 5.
Yeah. Jito, Drift, Theta, Zeta are the ones that like come to mind immediately.
Mango markets.
Yeah, sure. Mango.
Okay. Now name 5 on Solana.
My
on Arbitrum.
I could name 100, on Arbitrum, but it's because that's where all my attention is, right? And like, I'm not going to be jaded or confused by the fact that like I spend all of my time focused on Arbitrum and Ethereum stuff, and I spend very little time focused on the Solana ecosystem. So it's not fair for me to criticize their like application development when I don't really know a lot about what's going on in the application world. Now,
we'll just
we
lost Andy. We'll have to get Andy back when he comes back from the Solana breakpoint and we get a new update. I mean, I was listening to
RIP Mango.
RIP Mango. Yeah, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, like there's only 5. Oh, Andy just texted me. Oh, that's what he said.
Yeah, but my only point is that like, I don't judge it any differently. I just think that like, developers there are going to build for their users that are there. And anyone else that comes over there is coming over to vacation. They're coming over to like take advantage of volatility as well as liquidity and volume that's coming from like a narrative, sector narrative that you can trade. And whether that be, something new about this, L1 that's coming out or new L2, I don't know what the narrative around like Monad apps will be, but like maybe that gets like a ton of fucking hype. Proof of liquidity apps on Barachain like could cause something like this, but you're going to see this like magnet of capital that goes there. And of course you're going to have some that's sticky and stays because they go, oh, this is a great experience and it serves my needs better than where I was previously, or I just don't feel like moving my money, right? Like that's always another one.
I think it's way more PvP than that now, right? Like all the people bridge to Blast. It's like, okay, I'm going to get points. I'm going to, level up my chip stack. And then I haven't heard shit about Blast. Couldn't even name one protocol on Blast, right? You have the same thing with Barachain. I went to this Barachain event here in Rio. They, we have all these projects. We have 100 projects. We have all this.
Well, they're not live yet. Only they're.
No, that's coming. That's coming, right? We have 100 projects that are already building. That liquidity is going to be there on day 1. All this hype around it, and I just like fail to see it on some of this new stuff. You were telling me about Mode. I don't know shit about Mode, Monad, like Blast. Like it's just like, it's just like a cash grab, right? I mean, I think Andy's out. I think that was a shame, but we'll have to get him back when he's back at his desk in a peaceful place and my avatar is working again. We had a fail today on tech, I guess, but yeah, I'm not seeing like the hype or like the builders come or like people really putting in real time to build any real project outside of it just being a cash grab. Oh, we can make a couple $100K or $1 million and build some ghost protocol and not even that nobody's even using it, just like, oh yeah, we're building, we're just dragging the cat along. I'm just not seeing like the real attention on this other shit.
Yeah, we were talking about it even with like, Base today. You have some of them that will do that will copy something from somewhere else and it sticks because they they begin to hold on one sec, sorry.
Yeah, we had a lot of technical difficulties today and I think Andy was out because we could hear a lot of
all right, sorry.
Background noise.
But yeah, they take, this idea that was created on some other chain and then they begin to innovate on it. And you have things like, when we were talking about it earlier, you have things like Aerodrome and like Velodrome that took this idea that solidly put forward on Phantom and they kind of ran with it on first on Optimism and now on Base. And, they've seen a lot of success from there. But yeah, a lot of times it's like new network pops up, copy paste a bunch of, primitives from another network, and like, let's see how much liquidity comes over from incentives. With Bear though, yeah, they probably do have close to 100 by now. They've been in, closed beta for, I feel like
too damn long.
I feel like 2 years, but maybe it's been a year and a half. My like time is really, really off with like the years that things happened in, but yeah, 2021
crypto years,
maybe
100 crypto years.
They've been building for a long time, and we've been talking to them, and they, offered us access to the testnet, I think a few months ago. So, there's a ton of projects that are probably building and getting ready for whenever their mainnet goes live. But again, like we'll see, what type of community capital like becomes there, right? Like how much capital calls like any of these new networks home, like Monad or Mega ETH or Barachain or something, and how much of it just goes to like absorb incentives and then like leaves afterwards. I think Barra's is a little bit more of an interesting way to try to capture some of that capital long term, but we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, I mean that's where we're at in this cycle, right? NFTs died, hype cycles died. Now it's shitcoin, meme coin on Solana, real people building on ETH, but not clear direction. But like, oh, I'm happy gas isn't $80 anymore. It's a couple bucks, but like there's also that benefit. But oh fuck, today's stream was fucking weird. My avatar went down. Andy was outside. It was supposed to be a short one anyways, but we can. I got a protocol on the next one, and I got Little Quant coming up.
Little Quant.
Little Quant is coming up. He was supposed to be on today, but Andy said he could do it, so I pushed Little Quant to next 2 weeks and have a more. I think it would be interesting conversation because it would be a retail guy turned pro-tail vol trader, right? So having that kind of perspective and that conversation would be an interesting one for sure. So it would be more of like a interview style maybe than like a conversation where like, usually we try to make it like a stream conversation, but I think it would benefit some of the Telegram guys that are in the group or some of the more retail listeners, like where to start, how to start, why crypto,
yeah,
like this.
Sounds cozy.
Who else should we have on? I mean, it's hard to get people for summer. Everybody's like, I'm out till August. Well, August is in a couple weeks, so the guest list should be coming back. Are there any more options traders, or should we do more interview style? Let the people decide. I'll ask in the Telegram group if we want more protocols on, if we want more interview style, if we want more institutional guys on.
I want to know who is out there building incredibly cool shit right now. If you are building something new and exciting, especially with all this like nihilism and cynicism that people have right now, please DM me and let's get you on. If it's appropriate for like the premium one, we'll do it on this. If not, then you can just come hop on Eden and we'll do it there. But would love to talk to people that are building, especially at Arbitrum, but I don't care where you're building at.
I don't judge. If you're on Nomad or whatever it's called, I won't judge.
Yeah, wherever you're building at, like reach out to me. Would love to talk and get you on one of the streams. But we'll wrap it up for today. We'll be back Eden on day. Friday. Yeah, man, rough day. Eden, Jesus fucking, we couldn't connect the Eden Twitter because it wasn't.
Grant says it's the spirits. Grant said it's something with the moon cycle.
Oh fuck, dude! I need to hit up what's her name, Marin.
Need to hit up the fucking Marin Solstice.
Yeah, I need to maybe buy some of her astrology tokens so I can play the astrology slot game and get my fortune told to me.
I think it's called tarot cards, dude. You just start making up a story. Yeah, fucking weird tech day. My avatar's down. Andy was out. All good. We got some good guests lined up and more in August when people are back at the desks. Let's do some gun to your head, price predictions. ETF comes end of the month. What happens? Inflows. Of course, we're going to get inflows. What does price do? Round number theory, 4K?
4K, then dumps, and then we run it back up into 2025.
Ooh, 4K to 2K.
Ooh,
to 10K.
That's rough.
No, I don't know 2K, but I think just chop like 60, 70 Bitcoin. I think July 4th we overextended a little bit into the low 50s. I thought 60, 70 was more kind of our range, but we're back there. Everybody's portfolio goes to all-time lows if they get caught in the chop. And in terms of vols, as soon as the ETF launches, we probably get the front end lifted a little bit as there's some speculation on how much inflow there is. And then I think Bitcoin vols trade above ETH vols at a later date, because right now ETH is trading like 10 handles over Bitcoin. So that's my prediction.
What's them Volskis looking like?
50s and 60s.
Yeah, 59.
70
on Bitcoin.
On the back end.
Yeah.
That's my price predictions, or my vol predictions. Don't forget ETF. All right. Later, pimps.
Later. There we go. I was doing it again. I was sharing it, but I wasn't showing it.
Oh, there we go. Back end, what's like March or June? Yeah, right there on the term structure, on the one that you were just on.
Yeah.
See, not that much. Yeah, not that much. You can still buy some cheap long dated stuff. I'm not sure of like price direction now. I think ETF comes, front end gets lifted, and then at some point Bitcoin vols trade more than ETH vols, because right now ETH is trading like 10 handles higher. So That's my prediction.
You heard it here first, folks.
All right, later, pimps.
Yep.
We still did 40 minutes somehow. I don't know how, but we did it.
We did it. Yeah.
Right,
if you want to tune in on Friday for Eden, we'll see you back on Wednesday for another stream. Later.